but all he finds is shame. Searching in places love don't live, just to feel something, just to give. But every touch just fades to black. He needs more, but it don't give back. He's wearing thin, soul on fire. All that lust couldn't lift him higher, and he don't even recognize his face. Caught up in that war he couldn't trace. Then came tears, then came grace. Fell on his knees in a holy place. Lord, please help me believe, he cries. I'm drowning in the heat of my own life. Now he's free, yeah, he's found peace, wrapped in love that will never cease. Now he holds me like I'm his peace. I'm his sweet relief, yeah, sweet relief. In me he has found peace, his sweet relief. No more excuses, no disguise. Truth in his chest, no need to lie. He laid it all before the King, and now he walks in new clarity. Out of the dark into the light, God took his pain and made it right with me. I'm the answer to his prayer, the healer for every broken lair. He's brand new, love revived. His old desires now sanctified, and when he touches me, it's soul to soul. No more empty, now he's whole. Then came tears, then came grace. Fell on his knees in a holy place. Lord, please help me believe, he cries. I'm drowning in the heat of my own lies. Now he's free, yeah, he's found peace, wrapped in love that will never cease. Now he holds me like I'm his peace. I'm his sweet relief, yeah, yeah, sweet relief. He rose from a pillow wet with prayer, crossed the veil, laid down despair, and in that quiet, sacred space, he saw me, his saving grace, his helpmate, a gift of love to embrace. It ain't just flesh, it's spirit aligned. Love like worship, bodies entwined. Pleasure now dripping with destiny. His passion purified just for me. Then came tears, then came grace. Fell on his knees in a holy place. Lord, please help me believe, he cries. I'm drowning in the heat of my own lies. Now he's free, yeah, he's found passion in me, wrapped in my love that will never cease. Now he holds me like I'm his peace. I'm his sweet relief, yeah, sweet relief, sweet relief. Oh, after all this time, finally true love abides in me. He has found sweet relief. Now he holds me like I'm his peace. In his heart I'll never leave, covered in wisdom and grace. In me he found his safe space. I am his sweet relief. After all this time, finally true love abides in me. He has found sweet relief. Now he holds me like I'm his peace. In his heart I'll never leave, covered in wisdom and grace. In me he found his safe space. I am his sweet relief.
To RedLipstickVibes, the OG in the fucking hole, in the fucking hole, in the fucking hole, in the fucking hole.
Wisdom in her heart shines on her face. Every step is a lesson, every word a song, teaching all the young sisters where they belong. In her eyes is a light, in her voice is a truth, dripping gems of wisdom like a river overflowing with femininity. She's a timeless queen, she shines so bright, with style and grace and words so sweet, it makes you feel complete. She's a timeless queen with style and grace. Divine femininity covers her face, dropping gems from her mother's heart. Her style is a mirror of inner peace. From her joyful soul to her red lipstick, she speaks femininity wrapped in elegance so fine. She's bold, she's divine. Jewels in her laugh, diamonds in her smile, teaching us to walk the extra mile. She's the treasure that all men seek to find. Every whisper, every quiet phrase, and a melody of life to guide our way. Whether the storm's standing tall, teaching us how to not fall. She's a timeless queen, she shines so bright, with style and grace and words so sweet, it makes you feel complete. She's a timeless queen with style and grace. Divine femininity covers her face, dropping gems from her mother's heart. Her mother taught us, and now she teaches me. She said every step shows your style, walking with grace every day. Find beauty in the small things, keep your head up even when you fall. Love yourself most of all. She drops gems of wisdom, holding to her mother's vision, God of love and intuition. the soft, stay true, never play a part. Healing souls are set apart, blessed with wisdom from the start. Every move and every word she drops, gems from a mother's heart. She's a timeless queen, she shines so bright, with style and grace and words so sweet, it makes you feel complete. She's a timeless queen, with style and grace, divine femininity covers her face, dropping gems from a mother's heart. She's a timeless queen, she shines so bright, with style and grace and words so sweet, it makes you feel complete. She's a timeless queen, with style and grace, divine femininity covers her face, dropping gems from a mother's heart. She's a timeless queen, with style and grace, divine femininity covers her face, dropping gems from a mother's heart. We're dropping gems from a mother's heart. We're dropping gems from a mother's heart. We're dropping gems from a mother's heart. Her mother gave a treasure, diamonds and rubies of wisdom. Now she giving us the gems her mother gave. We're dropping gems from a mother's heart. We're dropping gems from a mother's heart. We're dropping gems from a mother's heart.
Hey everybody! Hey everybody! Welcome to Realistic Vibe, where the vibe is always positive. How y'all doing on tonight? Thank you guys for tuning in to Red Dropping Gems from my mother's heart. You know, this is the show where I kind of preached a little bit. So shout out to everybody that's tuning in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. If you have not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know it's a lot going on today. It's Monday. So how's everybody feeling on today? Hi, Dr. Steele. I see we have GP in the house, Dr. Steele's in the house, Sis is in the house, Naomi's in the house, and the Cloud Watchers are in the house. Make sure y'all hit that like button. We're not going to be here long. You know, I got a little something I want to talk about. So, and the link is at the top if you want to join me. So I was watching one of the Super Panel shows, right? And I should have clipped it, but I forgot to clip it. So charge it to my heart, y'all. So Ali asked the question, what is wrong with the women today? Why are the women today out of order? Okay. And why are they so unhappy? And so I put in the chat, I was like, look, I done did a show on this 3 times. Hi, Kellie, said you should do it. I done did a show on this 3 times. Kellie, if you're not busy, come on up. Did this show on this 3 times, why women are out of order. So I decided, let's give it a go one more time. All right, let's give it a go one more time. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. I don't have an icebreaker tonight because I'm going to be we're going to get through this. We're going to talk about it. And if anybody want to come up and give me some pushback, want to give me some, want to talk about what I'm going to put up, feel free to click the link and come on up and let's talk about it. Okay. We're not going to be here long. We're just going to get through it and everything. So how y'all doing up tonight? At first I wasn't feeling good for a little bit. But now, you know, I'm kind of feeling a little bit better. Y'all know me, child. So I ate some dinner. And now I'm feeling better. So if you don't know, this is what we're going to talk about. So Ali posed a question, and I hear a lot of people ask this question, especially when we're talking about different topics. Why are today's women are out of order and unhappy? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay. And I got a guess. Hold on one second. I have a guess on here. Let me get you up here. I'm excited. Hold on one second. Let me get this stuff out the way. Well, I can do that.
I don't know.
Right. Look
Hey,
at you.
girl. Look, I look a mess, but I said let me come through and support my girl really quick. I
Right.
just finished cooking, so I'm about to put the
Well, wait a
dishes
minute.
away.
Okay, what you put? I want to know.
Spaghetti, something
Okay.
quick, easy.
See, look, that's one no. Like, I don't feel like cooking meals.
And I really did the cheat, girl. I got
Look.
the little. I really cheated.
Oh no, not the Lord, no,
Got the thing. What's
she
it?
she gonna pull out
Aldi. I
the
think I went to Aldi.
frozen meatballs and everything. Lord, gee.
Mm.
Look, ain't nothing wrong with that when you trying to get it done. Okay, ain't
Right,
nothing wrong with
right.
that.
It was this or Burger King, and I ain't want to do that.
No, we're not doing Burger King.
Right.
Burger
I
King.
don't know how to. Can I move this screen? Let me
What you
see.
want to do?
Okay. Oh, I did it. Okay. Okay. All right. Girl, I be agreeing with you, so I'm not gonna give you no pushback. We usually be on
Well,
the same
we just
page.
over here having a conversation. Well, I always get the side comments, the disagreeable side comments, talking trash on other people's panels or talking trash in the comments. So, but
Hmm.
most people really don't click the link to come up and say anything.
No, they
You know,
don't.
like
They
yeah,
just want
the
to
men
be
will,
honoring.
but there ain't no chicky D's coming up here. They usually don't come.
No, they don't. I noticed that.
They don't usually come up with it. But
And I don't know if you've had people delete their comment. Not on my show, but on somebody else's show, somebody was like, "Well, come on up," and then they was like, and then they had deleted their comments. Like,
no, but
you
check
wrote it.
check this out. What happened to me last night on the Peep? So I was in the comment section on the Peep, like, girl, somebody time me out, child. I was like, I
Oh
was like,
wow!
okay.
I see. I only put people on timeout if they are talking like kind of like crazy. Like I don't know if you've
I was
seen.
just putting the eyes and like,
No,
oh,
no, no. That
I
I would
was like,
never. That's not nothing to time out. Like I have a person, bless their heart, but they kind of like I think have some mental illness
okay.
because they will tweet. I mean, they will make comments,
Mm.
and it'll be like they watching something else, like a
Oh,
movie or
it was
something.
like off
You
the
know what I
wall.
mean? Like,
Yeah. It be people like that. But child, but I got an idea. I think I know who did it. I think
oh, who put you on timeout?
yeah, I think I know. I know who did it. Cause the lady was there, she was cussing up a storm, right? And I just put potty mouth. I was like, "Ooh, potty mouth."
Oh yeah,
Child, next thing you know, child, I was, but yeah.
they got sensitive. That's what that was because you ain't seen nothing wrong.
Child, I'm paying. I'm paying.
And somebody in Fatty's chat too, they may be here. Emo sometimes says things, and I
I
think Fatty don't know what they talking about.
I think emo is maybe from another country.
Could be a language barrier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
every some off the wall stuff we going like what's I mean I think they're from another country.
that makes sense. Actually, you saying that does make sense now.
Hmm,
Yeah, I think you're right.
yeah.
I'm
So
sorry about the water.
no, that's okay. So what do you think about the topic we want to discuss tonight? Hmm.
What's the top? Okay, let me see. What is it?
So a couple of weeks ago on the Super Panel, I think it was the Super Panel was the ladies' first show. Ali asked so they were going back and forth with the ladies, and Ali asked the question, "Why are the women out of order and unhappy?" And I was like, ooh, 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 I know, but I was in the chat.
Let me think. Let me think. Let me think. I think we have overexposure of content. I think it's because of like social media, like Facebook, Instagram. Like
Good
we're
point.
able to get a glimpse into other people's lives and
Mhm,
what both genders do, men and women, but especially women. I think
mhm,
they're doing a lot of comparison. Whereas 30 years ago or 20 years ago, whatever, and whenever before social media,
mhm.
you didn't have this. You didn't have that. So I think the constant stimuli
Right.
creates like envy, jealousy. I think
Mhm.
that's it. 'Cause, yeah, women are constantly comparing where they are in life with their peers.
Okay. You are actually on target of what I'm going to talk about tonight. So,
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. That's the only thing I can think
I
of.
mean, well, I've done several streams on this, but I'm a little content creator. Nobody gonna pay me no attention.
I watch your
So,
stuff. The only stuff I don't watch that you do is the parenting stuff because I don't have kids, so I don't
that
watch too much of that.
that's Mr. and Mrs. She said. They do the
Oh,
parenting.
they do the parenting. Okay,
Mhm. Yeah,
and they call it conscious
I'll
parenting.
talk about autism, but
I'm not into the conscious stuff. I'm like spare the rod, whatever. Like kids need to get beat. That's my opinion.
who's sparing the rod? Just because you conscious don't mean you got to spare the rod. Who's sparing the
That's
rod
what I
over
thought
here?
conscious was. Like conscious was like they don't
Oh,
do.
oh no, no, we're not gentle parenting over here with you, girl.
Oh, that's what I thought it was.
No, see now you got to go and check it out before you make a judgment there. No,
Okay.
that's not what it's about.
I sure didn't click. I was like, conscious. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
no
no,
way. I
mm-mm.
sure did think it. That's what I thought it was. That
Or like
gentle
gentle
parenting.
parenting.
Gentle
Oh
parenting.
no, no, that's not conscious parenting.
That's what my
Well,
brother do.
who does? Your brother does conscious
My
parenting.
brother and his wife. My little badass nephew. I love
Ooh,
him though. I love him. He's 5, but I'd have
don't
man.
don't let
He'd have been
him.
getting popped if it was me.
He not out of control, is he?
He's not out of control. He just mischievous, you know. But he be needing to get popped, but they don't pop him. But I
Oh,
mind my business, you know. I mind my business, girl.
they do the gentle parenting.
Yes, no, no, yeah, they do, yeah.
All right. So here's what we're going to talk about tonight. So on the shows that I do like this, it's not a reaction show. It's actually information. And I'm actually teaching or preaching. Whatever.
Okay,
So you'll see me with some slides, and I'll have some clips to go along with it. So we're going to start with the first slide. So what we're going to talk about tonight is out of order: how modern society disrupt womanhood. So we're going to get a deep dive into feminism, victimhood, and the breakdown of the divine order. Okay. So we're
how
going
do
to
I
really get.
comment? I want to comment to Mrs. Hey, Mrs. She said I don't know how to comment. Go ahead, girl. Sorry, I was trying to comment back to her.
Oh, here she is. She says consciousness is a king of awareness.
Girl, I'm not hip, Mrs. She said I'm not hip. My bad.
Oh no, God. God have mercy. All right, we're going to talk about all these key points that leads our women to be out of order. Okay.
Okay,
So the first one we're going to talk about is feminism. What are your thoughts on feminism?
girl, don't get me started. I friggin' hate feminism. I'm not gonna say I hate feminists because I don't hate any person, but I
Mhm.
friggin' hate feminism. It's the biggest scam. I think it's demonic. I also think toxic masculinity is demonic, which the same
Mhm.
tribe, if you get what I'm putting down,
Mhm. Mhm.
put came up with feminism are the same people that
That
came
came up with
up with
toxic
toxic
masculinity.
masculinity as
Exactly.
well. And it's all a grift to get women to join the workforce so the government could take their taxes.
Okay.
I hate it. So yeah.
Let's talk about feminism and the out of order woman. Okay. So we basically know why feminism was created, right? And so the modern form or radical form of it helps create the out of order woman. And I believe that it breaks down the divine, God's divine structure of the family.
It's demonic. Oh,
Yes, and women didn't understand that with the feminist movement, it may have started as women's rights and all that kind of stuff, but not understanding that it was actually breaking down the family structure. And so and I believe that this is one of the starts of our women being out of order.
yeah.
So, go ahead. You want to say something?
No, I agree. I agree.
So the feminism got it twisted. The movement that once fought for freedom and respect got hijacked by consumerism, liberation without context. Now empowerment often looks like burnt out in disguise. The feminism created the disrespect for traditional values like modesty, marriage, homemaking, faith, humility. um, Women who embrace these things are often mocked, be called pick me's, mammies, and all those kind of, you know what do we get called?
Girl, they have a whole thing on trad wives of these women bashing these trad wives, traditional wives. All
Okay.
these women are doing is baking bread, making cereal for scratch
Yeah.
for their kids. They're not bothering anybody. Like one lady has a whole farm, and this woman, like, really became
The little
obsessed
Amish
with
lady.
her. It's crazy. It's really
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. I've seen some of those TikToks. Yeah, it's
They're
silly.
they're little, they're not bothering anybody. I'm like,
Hmm.
you broads need a man. Like,
Right.
worry about these women.
So feminism rejected the divine order and gender rules, right? So, and you'll hear me sometimes. I'll refer to scripture because I have a lot of people that are like in religion, so I'll refer to scriptures a lot on this type of show. So in Genesis 2:18 says, "I will make him a helper suitable for him." God designed men and women to complement, not compete. But feminism said, "Why should I help? Why should I follow? And why should I submit?" So instead of embracing the divine roles, many women abandon it and name it empowerment. So this is what feminism has created in the minds of the women. So instead, they're rebelling against the divine order of things. Now they have contempt for male leadership. They're resistant to marriage. They pride independence over partnership, and they think submission is slavery. I hate when they say that because it was like, "Oh, you being submissive, blah blah blah." Oh yeah, that's a whole nother show to talk about what submission really is, but we'll get to it.
And because you talking Bible scripture,
Mhm.
Proverbs 31. That's what a woman is supposed to be. Proverbs 31 woman. Oh my gosh, what is it? How does it go?
So
She she I forgot the quote, but you know what y'all know what it is.
she's a virtuous woman.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
So feminism glorified masculine traits over feminine strength. Instead of celebrating the power of nurturing grace, softness, and wisdom, feminism says to be equal to a man, you must act like a man. So there goes why one of the components of we talk about our women of outer order, because instead of acting like women, they are now embracing masculinity and acting like men. So now they're prioritizing career over children and family. They lead with aggression. They value dominance over cooperation. And it's like now they're just so into I need to be better than men and rather embracing their own femininity. What you think about that?
Sorry, I was on mute.
That's
Yeah, I definitely see it.
Mm-hmm.
And we see it a lot in our programming. Like when I say program, I'm literally meaning programs like
Yeah.
television, media,
Yeah, we're
all of
gonna
that.
get to
Like
that. Yeah.
you're not even gonna find a TV show
Mhm.
where there's even a strong male lead doing male stuff. Like I was watching some movie. Oh, I know what it was. It was this movie. I can't think of it. It was some type of action movie, and
Mhm.
one of the main characters was he wasn't driving. It was a woman driving. It was like uh not even a main character. And I was like, 20, 15 years ago, that
Mhm.
man would have been driving the car. It would not, like the getaway, it would not have been a woman driving. And I know y'all in the chat probably thinking like, well, no, in this movie, blah blah blah. If you Yes, there's always outliers, but now we just don't have the strong male leads. Is always women now.
Mhm. Exactly. And we're gonna get into the
So I think women, they just copying what they
what they see.
do.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I agree. So the other component of feminism is the whole they preach sexual freedom, and that left women empty. And here goes where we talked about why women are so unhappy. Feminists said, sleep with whoever you want, your body, your choice, and don't let a man define your worth. But they forgot to tell women that sex is a bond. Sex bonds the soul, that emotional fallout is real, and liberation without wisdom leads to regret. And they forgot the sacredness of the sexual act. Now we have
And
a generation of women that are addicted to validation. They go, always taking pictures with your butt out,
hmm
normalizing the hookup culture, fatherless children, and women who confuse lust for empowerment and attention for perfection.
girl, it was one more thing I was gonna say about that with the
Mhm.
with the program with what was you was I just this what it was. Women also, we're not men. We're not built like men. Our brains aren't even like men. Like women, after they have relations, they their brain releases what is it,
Mhm.
oxytocin, which
Exactly.
is that a chemical that
Mhm.
makes you feel like you're closer to the person. That I don't believe men have that. So it's like physical
Right.
stuff with our brain while we're different from men,
Mhm.
and we're just not the same, and we never will be.
But feminism is teaching them that they are the same, and thus this is why they act in the way they are.
Hmm.
So I have a clip. We're gonna listen to Candace Owens talk about what is the downfall of the women's out here. Let's see. Where is my clip?
Okay, Kazi, I didn't
I
know
can I
men
can
have
give you
oxytocin. I
a
thought
few
that was a
things
woman
that
thing.
are ranked very importantly, but I don't want to say what I would say is first. But the family unit being destroyed is if it's not one, it's two. What's happening with families and the government's creeping into our homes in regards to you know making people believe that marriage is not aspirational, that only happens in a society that's heading towards Marxist ideologies. And that is literally the Karl Marx doctrine, right? That if a government wants full omnipotence, it has to break down the family unit because the family unit stands in opposition to government omnipotence. So I would probably say every ill that we're seeing in society right now, that which you might think are unrelated, are actually all related to destroying the family unit. So sometimes you say, why are they on this climate change thing? And then you go, why are they fighting trans bathroom signs? And what's with this LGBTQ stuff? If you examine all of these issues and you realize what they have in common, it's that they are attacking families. So climate change, they're telling children, don't have kids. Don't have kids. It's irresponsible.
Now I didn't know that. I didn't know that
I
people
did.
are saying because of climate change, they're telling people not to have kids.
They did say, yeah, at the World Economic Forum, Kamala Harris was addressing the World Economic Forum, and the World Economic Forum also is backed by the same tribe of people I was referring to earlier. But
Right.
anywho, she was speaking at that conference, and she said something. She was saying how the world, it has all this pollution, and people will say that she slipped up and said, we have overpopulation, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it was a slip up. I'm gonna find it,
No,
girl. I'm gonna send it
right,
to you. But
right.
people will
Oh
say, "Oh
yes,
no, that's not."
please do. 'Cause I
Yeah,
don't know
I'm.
that.
Yeah, I'm a. And she doesn't have kids. I'm just saying.
Well, my thing is, how can she say that? But now Donald Trump is trying to pay people to have babies.
That to me, that's just polar. He. Okay, so the left, not all on the left, but the left, they
Hmm.
do push this feminism. They do push, go against
Right.
family values and things like this. And I'm not saying Republicans don't have any demons. I'm not saying that. But
Right.
typically the party is the conservative party where they, you know, um,
Hmm.
push certain family values. So him being
Yeah.
behind, Trump, and people don't. I understand people don't like Trump, but what Trump did, and a main reason, or one of my big reasons why I voted for him, he was talking about doing something with IVF for regular people, having insurance
Yeah.
cover IVF. And I'm like, I have
Hmm.
friends, like I know people that would really benefit. Everybody isn't trying to kill their babies, the left. It was all abortion, 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 abortion. Some people trying to have
Right.
kids,
Right. Right. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
yeah. But
All right.
yeah,
Let's
that
finish
the
up with
same
Candace.
stuff that everything she talking about,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
it's a whole agenda. We gotta talk offline, girl, because we can't talk about it on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely. Okay. So let's get into what Candace got to say about what's going on with the here we go.
The planet's not going to be here for 10 years. Meghan and Harry got an award because they agreed to only have 2 kids. Yeah. It's about the shrinking of the family unit, it's totally bizarre. The LGBTQ stuff, if kids are chopping off their parts, they're not going to have a productive family. There's no nuclear family unit. If it's 2 lesbians or two gay people, more power to the government. You've got to turn to the government to even have a child, which is now coming down the pipeline with all of those things. And so, yeah, when I examine every issue that we're fighting, you can see that what the government is actually doing is trying to interrupt the family unit. So I would say that that's the number one issue.
And your friend Larry Elder said the exact same thing. He put that at number one.
He put number one.
Oh,
Right?
did he?
Said
Wow.
and then obviously a guy like that said very nice things.
I want to see what else she's going to say.
Fatherless
Let me see what else she's going to say. What else would you say?
Well, so I was saying, like, I would put family issues first because every other societal ill follows it, So when I'm talking about the education system, right, and what's going on, and kids are getting systematically dumber across Baltimore. They can't find a single child that's proficient in reading and writing, but talk to the kid about BLM, and they're going to be like, oh, yeah, no, absolutely. They're training little Marxists. The kids actually know nothing. They're essentially toddlers. Like when you see a toddler throwing a temper tantrum, they don't understand why, and so they just blame rich people, right? It must be because of rich people that I failed in life. No, it's because you literally couldn't pass a basic reading exam, and your life was cut off for you before you even graduated. But when you look at that, again, it brings you back to the family unit.
What you got to say with that?
Girl, let me go back. I was just about to message you.
Mhm.
I look, I agree with everything she's saying.
Mhm.
Because I peeped the stuff. The degenerate dude. I know. I'm not gonna spill the tea, D. Look, I just think it's insane. They won an award. Meghan and Harry got an award for only having 2
Yeah,
kids.
that's crazy.
That is crazy. Like if anyone can afford to have more than 2 kids, it's friggin' British royalty. Like
Right.
let's knock it off. I gotta jump off, but girl, I'm gonna be in the chat. I'm enjoying the
Thank you for
show.
coming up.
Of course, of course. Thank you for having me. But I'm gonna be in the chat.
Okay. All right.
All right, bye.
Bye. All right, guys. Let's finish out the clip, and the link is at the top. If anybody want to come up and join me, so let's finish out what Miss Candace has to say.
Culture is a major problem. Hollywood and culture is definitely up there, but they're again reinforcing the breakdown of family, the overt sexualization.
Now, here is the part that I wanted to get to. So she's going to address some of the things that we talked about in the feminism part, where we just reviewed the feminism part is one of the reasons why our women are out of order. And now she's giving a little bit more context to it, right? She's talking about the culture and the over sexualizing. And we hear all the time that the women will say men are sexualizing the women, but nowadays women are over sexualizing themselves. Let me say that again. Women are now over sexualizing themselves. You cannot blame that on the men now. This is all on you, ma'am. Here we go.
Perversion. I mean, that's what I'm saying about not importing American values. That is one of the most, I would say that is the most disgusting thing right now that's happening in America is this the over sexualization of our culture. And I look at other countries and I'm like, no, I'd much rather be importing those values, right? What are we exporting right now? Mm-hmm. When you look at what celebrities are endorsing and the overt sexuality. Obviously, you brought up that I did the Whatever podcast. You broke my heart to sit across from a 22-year-old who sleeps with 10 men a night, and her answer is, "Well, I make money. I make $100,000 a year." You're 22 years old, and you look like you're possessed by a demon because you are. Yeah. Right? Our culture is demonic, and
y'all heard what she said. She said the culture is now demonic because we just really devalued ourselves. Women have devalued themselves. You cannot blame it on the men this time, ladies. You cannot blame it on the men. This is all on you. Right, Kellie said America's Babylon. Child, look, I say Sodom and Gomorrah, okay? I'm just waiting for the fire and brimstone. All right. Here we go.
Where would you put feminism on this? Because that's essentially what it comes down to: the monetization and the sexualization and the commoditization.
Feminism is the number one attack on family, right? Yeah. I mean, what are they telling women? Men ain't shit. You don't
get your
need
bag,
a man.
girl. You don't need
your
man.
Bag. Yeah, that's disgusting. You shouldn't be having children. There's a whole culture called dinks on TikTok. Dual income, no kids. Yeah, they're getting millions of views. My life is so great. I don't have. This is literally the simulation right now that women are existing under and believing that they shouldn't be, that men are crap. And by the way, there's a response to that, which we can talk about. I talk a lot about masculinity and the decline of masculinity because feminists have been bashing men over the head about being men and how men don't have a lot of leaders and people that they can rely on. And so we're just now kind of seeing a response to the hyper feminization of culture, which is what we are suffering from right now. We are living in a matriarchy. The illusion is that it's patriarchy. It is in fact a matriarchy. Everything that we are dealing with right now is because people are emotional. Women have power. Women are in positions of power, and we are more emotional than men. Most women are more emotional than men.
What about some?
So, do y'all agree with what she just said? That we hear the women can say that patriarchy is what's messing us up, but actually we're living in a matriarchy. Do y'all agree with what she just said? What are y'all thoughts? So Candace kind of opened up some more information about how feminism was destroying the women and the family structure. So now, let's get into some specific areas. So the first one we're going to talk about is how toxic media changed the traditional woman. Do y'all agree with that? Do y'all think that the media, social media, the internet has now influenced the woman so much that this is what created the quote unquote out of order woman. So toxic media changed the traditional woman. Toxic social media, TV, and modern entertainment has corrupt, confused, and completely reshaped the traditional mindset of women. Do y'all agree with that? Do y'all agree with that? What was once rooted in virtue, family, faith, modesty, and purpose is now being drowned out by a loud, seductive culture that glorifies rebellion over reverence and performance over principle. What are y'all thoughts? What are y'all thoughts? Do y'all agree with that? Social media plays a part. So let's get into a couple of points on how toxic media has influenced the women. Okay. So brother said, yep. And D said IG played a part too. Very true. Brother said clout over character. I think yes, very much. Dr. Steele says, I think social media plays a part in so many ways, and we're about to find out, Dr. Steele. So the first point is it glorifies rebellion. Okay. TV shows, movies, TikToks now celebrate women who are loud, reckless, disrespectful, dominant, and dismissive of male leadership. It shows sexually aggressive and emotionally cold, proud, unbothered, uninterested in marriage or motherhood women. The traditional woman once found honor in humility, strength in softness, and power in peace. Now she is told she is weak. She's a mammy. She's a pick-me. She's too old-fashioned. You too old. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay. That's what they say. So now the women are rebelling against what once was traditional ways of divine feminine. Okay. So the second point is the media is now redefining what freedom is as destruction. So now you have OnlyFans is empowerment. Body count doesn't matter. Who needs a man? And child marriage is trapped into slavery. These are some of the things that media is now redefining for the women, the ladies that are coming up. And hence, this is one of the reasons why they're out of order. They're demonizing motherhood and marriage, which is very important. Like Candace was saying in the beginning, how feminism is changing the structure of the family, right? So it undermines the purpose of motherhood and family. Sex once was connected to life, legacy, and stability. Now it is detached from responsibility. The rise of the hookup culture led to fatherless homes. Deletions became a backup plan. You know that famous saying, what's her name, Sukiyan? She said, all I need is a Henny and a plan B, okay? And we see the TikToks and the shorts where women will say, we listen and we don't judge. And I had 8 deletions this year. Well, not a care in the world. But they glorify this. And they put this out like this is something good to do. People are actually using these things for clout chasing. So if sex is no longer sacred, marriage becomes optional and disposable. Divorce rates on the rise. Women begin initiating most breakups and divorces, often feeling unseen, used, and emotionally depleted, even when they had it all. Women begin to delay and reject motherhood altogether, not for wisdom, but from wounds and worldly pressures. I gotta be a bad bee. I gotta get this career. I gotta get this, my third degree. Okay. So in result, broken homes, unstable children, and women navigating single motherhood while longing for covering and partnership. They destroyed the sacred image of motherhood and marriage. We see the movies. We see the movies where the wives are portrayed as miserable, nagging. They just have the worst marriage ever. Everybody loves the color purple. They love to use the color purple as their example is why they think marriage is bad, because I don't want no man to control me. No man ain't gonna beat me up and all this kind of stuff. I call it the color purple syndrome, right? Then the media portrays mothers as clueless, overbearing. Then you have the housewives, wasting all their potential on pookies, okay, for money and clout. And they're celebrating being single and sexually liberated as women being the winners. They're winning when they're like this. They're winning because she gets to sleep with 1,000 bitch. They're winning because they got the OnlyFans and making $100,000 a year. These type of women are what they call winning. So therefore, this is why a lot of our women are out of order, because they are consuming the media, the social media, TV, and they're using it as their blueprint for life. So now you got young women growing up thinking marriage is a downgrade, children are the burden, submission is slavery. Because that's what they see on TV now. You don't see the Huxtables, married couple. You don't see, a positive example on TV anymore. You always see some crazy Tyler Perry stuff. That's why I don't like Tyler Perry movies and stuff, because it's always sticking to the same thing, the downtrodden single Black woman. You know what I mean? I can't. Shout out to Tyler Perry. Look, you do you, but I can't. Okay, I can't do the Tyler Perry child. I can't do the Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry. Yeah. He has the same, right. And Machine said, I see twerking on at the Washington Monument. I mean, right. Okay. So, and with media, toxic media, they replace virtue with vanity. Let's get into that, right? And I just dropped the link in the chat. Anyone want to come up? So, how they replace virtue with vanity, Miss? How they do that, Red? So, traditional women like myself was raised with value, character, modesty, nurturing, respect for men and elders, building families and legacy, right? But now, social media rewards skin over substance. The more skin you show, selfies over service. Okay. Did y'all see the one with the lady? She just had to do a TikTok at her job, shaking her behind. And she didn't think that she was going to get fired. Child, they fired her behind quick. She just had to turn over, bent over in her space at her job and twerk. And you didn't think that your job, is watching, your social medias, because they do, especially if you have, certain type of jobs, So selfie over service, attention over integrity. We talk about this all the time. They rather have attention. That validation from the internet, that validation from the likes and the, ooh, you cute, from the men and the women, right? And a lot of times I find, we always talk about when women say, "Oh, it's the men that's being sexualizing us and all this kind of stuff," but most of the time, you know who I see in the comments? It be other women. It literally be other women. So that's a whole nother conversation. And of course, the instant gratification over lasting love. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Kellie. When she was up here, she mentioned the Proverbs 31. The Proverbs 31 woman, okay, has been traded for Instagram likes, filters, designer bags, and BBLs, okay, and lip fillers and fake lifestyles. So social media has made women feel not enough. Even when they're walking in their purpose, the world has told them to chase more, but never told them when to stop. So they're looking at what's going on social media, and they want to incorporate all these things in their lives and not understanding the repercussions for such things. So this is one of the reasons why our women are out of order. Shout out to Dr. Seal. Dr. Seal says, thank you for the $5. He says, keep in mind that the internet in general puts information good and bad in everybody's reach. Correct. But here's the thing, Dr. Steele. A lot of times, the bad has sugar on it, and it's shiny, and it's pretty. So people tend to gravitate to bad more than the good. Because good information makes you evaluate yourself and take accountability. There goes the difference, right? So let's get into the big one. How toxic media has now, pushing the promiscuity. Sexual liberation destroys the core values and purpose of women. Let me say this again. Sexual liberation destroys the core values and purpose of women. When women's value is reduced to her body and beauty, she learns to lead with seduction rather than substance. Let me say it again. When women's value is reduced to her body and beauty, she learns to lead with seduction rather than substance. How many times we watched Fatty Super Panel show and you see a bunch of women with no substance? They got their lashes on though. They got their wig on though, but no substance. She's confused lust for love. Let's say that again. She confuses lust for love, power for purpose. She thinks dominance makes her strong, but often it leaves her lonely. How many times we hear women say, men are intimidated by me because I'm a strong woman. Right? Right. Exactly, lost in translation. I am the table. Yes. That's what they be saying. I am the table. And oftentimes they're at the table by themselves because they think being dominant it's the way to go. And this is what the media, TV, social media, movies are portraying. And not understanding this is what's going to leave you lonely and unhappy and out of order. So the culture begins to push this lie. Your power is in your sexuality, sexual liberation, slut walk, all that good stuff, right? So instead of being valued for your wisdom, virtue, character, many women were taught to lead with lust. Now, modesty is mocked. Let me say that again. Modesty is mocked. You know, virginity is called weak. Hypersexuality is packaged as empowerment when it's often masking pain and insecurity. Let me say that again. Hypersexuality is packaged as empowerment. That's how they want you to see it. But oftentimes it's just masking pain and insecurities. Sexual liberation encouraged women to act like men, sleep around, avoid commitment, chase money without any meaning. Sex has become a product and love became transactional. Sex became a product and love became transactional. Women became content, right? For OnlyFans, IG thirst traps, porn culture. She became seen but no longer revered, no longer valued. These are some of the reasons why women are out of order. Through feminism and this new womanism culture and ratchetism culture, I like to say whorism, you were promised freedom, but you got higher depression rates, higher anxiety rates, loneliness masked by independence. And not to mention the sexual traumas normalized. A lot of women don't even know their worth anymore. Y'all get what I'm saying? Am y'all getting what I'm saying? Am I making sense? So in turn, you can sleep with who you want, dress how you want, do what you want, became the new thing now with toxic media. But no one tells the women the cost of all that. They tell you all the things that make it look good and make it sound good, and you know, but no one really knows what the cost is. The cost of liberation without wisdom. True freedom isn't doing whatever you want. It's walking in purpose, dignity, and divine order. Sexual liberation told women, you don't need a man, you don't need boundaries, you don't need to wait. But they've forgotten the fallout. The fallout for all of this is broken hearts, broken homes, broken legacy, and mentally ill women. I got a clip. I want y'all to watch this, and then we're going to come back to the rest. We're not going to be in long. Again, if anybody want to come up, the link is at the top, and I'm going to drop it in the chat as well. Let's see what our favorite TV psychiatrists have to say. Let's go.
We are out of order. The things that really disturb me about how out of order we are the fact that we don't have clear boundaries and we let anyone do anything in our life. I'm talking to grown, big panty-wearing women, okay? We're out of order. Let me just go ahead and say it. Let me just ask forgiveness now. There's no reason for us to continue to have children with men who don't honor us and don't take care of their children. Out of order. Women of color.
And here's where I would say you sleep with men that don't honor you because you don't honor yourself. You be with men that don't value you because you don't value yourself. You do this because this is how you really view yourself. That's what I would say to that. Shout out to Gail. Gail said, yes, ma'am, I'm picking up. Thank you, Gail. But I don't want me talking about myself up here, okay?
Country were to be someone's workhorse and their sexual slave. And we've adopted to those ways without doing the investigation of our own culture. What it means to be a woman, a female representative of the creator of the universe. What it means to be a mother. What it means to be a...
Hence is why women are out of order. They do not know who they are. We're going to get into that. They don't know who they are. They literally lost what the true identity of a woman is. Let's keep going.
Stuff. I can't even get to the wife yet. But what it means. What it means when I'm looking in your face and how I see myself and my creator looking back at me. How can I dishonor you as a woman? How can I do that? But so we're out of order because we've allowed too many things to influence how we see ourselves, how we treat ourselves, what we expect from ourselves.
Again, what did we just go over? We went over toxic media. She just said it. We allow the world to control how we see ourselves, how we relate with each other.
What we expect for ourselves.
Tell us why you say we're so out of order.
I think now because we get paid to be out of order now.
Oh, did she just say that? Did she just say what I just said earlier? You're getting paid for it. What did Candace say in the other clip? Where she was across from a young lady that was sleeping with multiple people and on OnlyFans, and her only rebuttal was, but I make $100,000 a year. Shout out to Beans. Hey, Beans. Beans into the house. Thank you for the $2, Beans. It is being monetized to be out of order. They're being rewarded to being out of order. They're rewarded for being hoes. They're rewarded for being ratchet. They're rewarded for being bad mothers. Did you know how many bad, dysfunctional women on TikTok with their children that need CPS called are getting paid for being bad mamas? They're being rewarded for their behavior. This is why they're out of order, because they're getting gratification from it. They're getting paid from it. I'm getting something out of it. I'm getting to my bag. Real Housewives, Love and Hip Hop. I'm getting to my bag. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get on here and fight and do all kind of crazy stuff on TV because I'm getting to my bag. Ain't by any means necessary, no matter how much I'm degrading myself, no matter how much I'm devaluing myself, I'm getting to my bag. There goes the reason why women are out of order, because they're getting paid to do it. I don't need to work anymore. I don't even gotta go to school anymore. All I gotta do is turn up my booty to the camera. Let's continue.
Some of the images that we allow to be portrayed of us, some of the ways that we behave and treat each other publicly.
Yeah.
Didn't I just say that? Women you cannot say it's the men that are doing this to you. You cannot say this is a Diddy situation. Okay? Because it looks like to me, y'all Cassie, y'all like it. Okay. No Cassie. Y'all know what y'all doing. Mm-hmm. And you like it because you're getting something out of it. So no longer you can say, it's the men's fault. What about the men's? No, ma'am. You're doing it to yourself. What you're portraying to the world has nothing to do about anybody else but you.
We've made a lot of progress. I want to look at the sweet spots also. I mean, we've got women of color in the White House. Yeah. We've got women of color in Congress, everywhere. I think on the personal level, down on the ground, we still need to do some work. And I don't blame us. Mm-hmm. I just say that the way we've been conditioned.
I blame us, okay. You may not blame us, but I blame us.
And educated doesn't afford us the ability to really tap into and live full.
Shout out to Miss She said, I blame your mama. Okay, we'll get into that in a minute. Okay, here we go.
Who we are. And then we engage in bad behavior. Just bad behavior.
But what you said at the time, I think you said something about boo-boo with no paycheck, dealing with him crying and running by.
You know, and you know, this is hard. It's hard because it's, I love us. And so I want to fully step into my role as an elder and be able to say things that you may not like, but you will at least respect.
Here goes the problem with that. They don't respect the elders. When we talk, oh, you know what I'm talking about? You, OG, you this, and y'all don't know what y'all saying. Times are different. There is nothing new under the sun. Only thing is different is the players. Y'all doing the same thing people did years ago, decades ago. It's just different players. Ain't nothing changed. So here goes the problem. Why a lot of our women are out of order. They don't want to listen. That goes back to the rebellion. They don't want to listen to anything other than the ratchet culture that makes them feel good. Anything that makes you think, take accountability, or feel uncomfortable, they don't want to hear that. There goes the problem. This is why the women, are out of order. And I say, even now, women, you can't use that excuse. For me, maybe somebody else might believe it, but for me, you can't use that excuse where I wasn't taught that. Because you have women like Ayanna and several others, like Felicia Richard and several other people that are trying to tell you, but instead of listening and taking heed to the message, myself, Ms. She said, take heed to the message. Messy Michonne, Crimson Cure, and a host of other women, older women, are trying to tell the young women, but they don't want to listen. So, but the information is there. So you can't use I wasn't taught, because it's there. It's in your face. I mean, some people may say, you know, you can still use, but I say once you know better, you do better. That's how I look at it. I know you be like, Red, you so harsh. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm just going to have to be harsh.
And the way we are moving in the world It's time for us to close our legs.
What you just say, lady? No, she didn't just say that. Did she just wait a minute? Let me go back. Cause I did she just say that? Let me see. No, she ain't say that.
The way we are moving in the world, it's time for us to close our legs.
She did say that. She did say that. What y'all think about that? I mean,
Close your legs, open your heart. Let's get clear before we keep making the same mistakes over and over. When I say we're out of order, it's not a criticism and it's not a judgment, because what I realize is so many of us just don't know. We don't know because our mothers didn't know. And my mothers didn't know because our grandmothers didn't know. And because our culture has broken down so much. I mean, I grew up in a time when if mama worked, grandma lived in the house. Where there were generations of people in the house, generations of women. And so there were so many ways that we were exposed to what it looked like, felt like, sounded like to be a woman. And now those things just don't happen. Where are we learning not only what it means to be a woman, but what it means to honor your body? Not just take care of it with exercise and diet, but honor the way it looks like, honor the way it develops, honor the way it unfolds, know what's gonna happen to you, Where are we learning how to...
Shout out to Miss She Said, because that's what she is working on, her series. Shout out to her for her teaching and always giving content on women in our bodies. See, this is the reason why I say I'm on the fence on it. I didn't know. I'm on the fence when people say I didn't know. I'm on the fence with that. Hey, Poppy.
Honor our spirit. Honor your spirit. Learn how to trust your intuition. Know what that inner voice feels like. Know what it feels like when somebody is dishonoring you. What it feels like when someone is...
You won't know when somebody's dishonoring you when you already dishonoring yourself. You won't know when somebody is not valuing you when you don't even value yourself. So therefore, how would you know?
Encroaching upon your private space. Where are we learning that? Where are we learning how to process our emotions? Sadness, grief, sorrow, fear, anger, loneliness. It's important for everybody, but it's really important for us as women and women of color, because when we don't have this information, then we begin to accommodate and tolerate dishonoring situations and people. But more important, we begin to deny these things, and that's when we get into the drinking and the drugs and the overeating and just bad behavior and wrongdoing.
Just bad behavior and wrongdoing all over. Okay. Y'all catch what she's talking about? Shout out to everyone that has been tuning in. Make sure you please hit that like button. If you have not subscribe to the channel. Okay. Shout out to you for our goals. Make sure we have a membership goal, 10 memberships for tonight. Membership is only $2.99. Y'all know how I do after every show. After a couple hours, all my videos goes on membership only. So being a member actually does pay off. And also make sure you guys hit the Cashapp at RedLipstickVibes. Okay. For the paper towel fund. We are trying to get $30 for the paper towel fund. Okay. All right. So now, here's what we covered. We covered the first component of why women are out of order is feminism, right? Feminism jacked everybody up, okay? Then the second thing is toxic media, where it glorified rebellion. It changed the direction of what freedom is into destruction. It demonized motherhood and marriage, replaced virtue with vanity, right? Normalized being out of order. And the big one, glorification of promiscuity and sexual liberation. That's a big one. Is one of the reasons why our women are out of order. Okay. So let's get into the next one. Okay, this one, people gonna get mad at me, but I don't care. So the impact of single parenting and toxic mothers is another reason why our women are out of order. Okay. Let me say this again. Single parenting and toxic mothers is another reason why our women are out of order. I am being nice, Poppy. I'm being nice. So let's get into it. We're going to talk about, I did a show on the importance of fathers in their daughters' lives. Make sure you go back and check that out, right? So, the impact of toxic mothers and single parenting. Being raised by a single mother can negatively affect daughters, especially when key elements of structure, balance, and spiritual order are missing. Let's get into it. Again, the link is at the top, and you might want to join me in this conversation because we're about to talk about the daddies. Okay. So the first one is missing male energy equals imbalanced feminine identity. Missing male energy equals imbalanced feminine identity. Like, well, what are you talking about, Red? Mm-hmm. A girl learns how to be a woman by watching one. But she learns her worth, her protection, and how she should be treated by experiencing healthy masculinity, preferably by her daddy. When it's absent, when that daddy is absent, mamas that say, I can raise my children by myself, I don't need no man, I don't need no father, alienating your children from your from their father. Here's what happens to your daughter when that masculine energy, that father structure and discipline is absent. She becomes more hyper independent and emotionally guarded. She may seek male validation through sex, manipulation, or submission to toxic men. You wonder why your daughter keeps dating these bums and pookies and ray-rays, or men that abuse her. She might confuse control with strength and softness with weakness. She may not learn how to trust, honor, or cooperate with a masculine leader. How can she? She never seen it. It cracks me up when these women be on these panels like, men need to be leaders, or in the chat, when are men gonna be leaders? Do you even know what a leader is? I'm just saying. Have you even seen one? Have you experienced one? What you going to tell men how to be one, though? I digress. I'll leave that alone. She might lead with dominance, sarcasm, manipulation, thinking that's power. She may think that being loud and cantankerous and aggressive is empowerment. She may think submission is a form of weakness rather than sacred alignment with her partner. She will mostly be entitled and rebellious. She may spiritually drift, emotionally fail, and seek structure in the wrong places, i.e., street culture, toxic men, and fame. I'll do whatever it takes to get a click and a view. And all these things leads to constraint power struggles in relationships. Because what real man want to deal with a woman like that have all these things, all these issues, which leads to internal confusion what it means to be a woman. Okay? So there's examples of not having any healthy male-female dynamics. So it goes to some of the things that Ayana was saying, where you really don't see a positive relationship between them. If you always seeing your mama saying men ain't shit, or, every 6 weeks you got a new uncle. This your uncle. But mama, why you sleeping? Why uncle sleeping in the bed with you? I mean, I just, that's what they be doing. So then you have on the toxic side when the mamas are competing with the daughters. Therefore, she's emotionally neglecting her and emotionally abusing her, right? Then you have the wounded mother passing down survivor and not structure. A single mom is often overworked, overwhelmed, and under-supported. She's in survival mode, not able to model emotional regulation. Mm-hmm. Somebody on the panel. Uh-oh. Did I just... Hey, brother. Yeah. Are you up here? In a minute. Let me see. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yo, what's good?
There you go, brother.
What it do? What it do? You good?
Yeah, I was on here preaching a little bit, I ain't preaching a long time.
Good info, man. That's good info. You doing your thing. I just wanted to say what up.
And you got a little echo, brother.
Okay.
All right. So, in turn, since she's in survival mode, she's always working, she's overwhelmed, under-supported. So this is the plight of the single mother. And this is one of the reasons why our women are out of order, because a lot of our women are raised in single mother parent and single mother homes, right? So we gotta look at that. So if she's in survival mode, she doesn't have time to model emotional regulation. Sis talks about emotional regulation all the time. But yet these women say they want an emotionally intelligent man, though. But they can't even regulate their own emotions. I mean, then she's not able to model submission to leadership, i.e. the husband, right? And she's not able to model partnership in the marriage. So therefore, women are not seeing these things So therefore, they are taking on the opposite of this. If a daughter sees her mother is always fighting, fussing, cussing, men ain't shit, beating men up, when she get mad at them, she throws them out, busting windows out the car, slashing tires. This is what they seeing, right? This is what they've been seeing.
Lord Jesus.
Struggling, i.e. Tyler Perry movies. He's always putting the struggling single mama on the TV screen. Okay. Bitter towards men. So in turn, these women are now internalizing men can't be trusted. And I hear this a lot. I have to be the man and the woman in the household. You look, brother, we hear that a lot. Or I got to be the mother and the father. Right?
Shit, and they get a Father's Day card on Father's Day too.
On Father's Day. And love equals sacrifice and suffering. So that goes back to when we were on Fatty's channel. I think I was up there. I think you were up there too, brother. When HQ was saying women marry for love. No, they don't. Because they see it as a sacrifice and suffering in a prison. They're getting married for resources, and that's it. So this type of situation creates women out of divine order, strong on the outside and broken on the inside. The strong, most time, the AKA strong, independent woman is a broken little girl on the inside. And I did a show on that too. Go check out the track catalog. So, brother, what do you have so far? You got anything to say before we move on?
Nah, I think you're doing great. I'm not gonna, not gonna do too much because I don't want to, be too mean. But the information you giving is great. I mean, a lot of people say, our people are out of order. The ladies are a little out of pocket. So it's not something that I never heard before. So you on point. The reasons that you're giving are spot on. It makes sense. And if you just look at it and just take, personal experience, you might have met one or two women that might resemble a couple of these characteristics. I would just kind of stew on that and then go from there.
Yeah, go ahead. You got the floor.
I mean, the missing the male energy is at the top of my list. It just kind of gives the overview of how things should go with two people in a relationship, whether it's platonic or professional or romantic. But sometimes things can't go your way, and you got to show people how you respond in those aspects. You know what I mean? So I just see a nice balance when it comes to having two people in a relationship, and they're able to example, when things are going good, when things are not, and then people can kind of learn and build off of that. But great topic, great information. You doing your thing as usual.
So the next one is generational cycles of dysfunction, and we see this all the time. I mean, you could just turn on TikTok and see the cycle of dysfunction, right? So often, single mothers was raised by a single mother who, and Ayana said that in the clip, is usually generational, right? Who also operating out of order. So if the mother is operating out of order, grandma is operating out of order, then guess what? The daughter inherits emotional trauma, mimics relationship patterns, repeats the cycle of brokenness without knowing how to break them. These women aren't just out of order, they're out of alignment with God's original design. So they tend to mimic what they see. And hence they create this hyper independence, and they don't trust men. I've heard this I saw this TikTok where this old lady was telling women how she, was when she was younger, and when she got older, she realized that, that you shouldn't trust a man with nothing. Or, she was bashing she was making her experience these women experience. And so there goes when I talked about the trauma bonding, and when you're taking on other people's trauma and it didn't even happen to you. It didn't even happen to you. And that's why I hate when I see these ladies on the panel and they always bring up the color purple, and the women used to get beat and all this kind of stuff back in the day. I was like, I don't know what y'all talking about. And it didn't even happen to you. You ain't experienced nothing nowhere near that. But you're trauma bonding with broken people, taking on their reality. There goes one of the reasons why the women are out of order. Let me see. Nikki said, "You won't let me get my letters from my brother in Africa. My bad. The color purple."
That's what I put in the comments when you were kind of alluding to that, and you see how easy it is to take that narrative. Everybody, she wouldn't even let me get my letters from my brother in Africa. Oh, my bad. That wasn't even me. And that's exactly how easy it is. And we've watched TV shows where it's like, he wouldn't let me get my letters from my sister in Africa. And it was like, that's not you. That's the color damn purple. Like, everybody's taking the narrative and running with it. And for people to act like they don't see it, it's crazy.
Exactly. But my thing is, it's an echo, brother. My thing is, why they always taking on the bad stuff, but they don't want to take on like the movies and shows that show the good stuff. They always want to take on the bad stuff. But I know the answer to that. I have the answer right here. The next reason why our women are out of order. The victimhood culture. Victimhood plays a major role in why many women today are out of order. It's one of the most deceptive traps of modern society because it feels empowering at first, but becomes spiritual bondage. It becomes not only spiritual bondage, but mental bondage, emotional bondage, and in some cases, physical bondage. Feminism made victimhood a badge of honor. We're going back to feminism. Feminism was the first point that we was talking about. Feminism made victimhood a badge of honor. Instead of healing and rising, feminism encouraged women to blame men, blame the system, blame tradition, blame faith, but blame doesn't build, it only binds. So many women stayed emotionally stunted while calling it strength because victimhood became their identity. What do you have to say, brother, with that?
You don't want to hear what I got to say about that. Sound like slavery to me. I'm gonna be honest. Sound like slavery. Sound like slavery, sis. Sound like slavery. As long as we all slaves to the patriarchy, then kumbaya. Meet me by the river so we could sing these Negro spirituals, and we gonna uprise against massa together.
Right. So let's talk about this victimhood. Victimhood replaces accountability with entitlement. When women embrace victimhood as identity, they start saying men are the problem. What about the men though? That's why when I was playing the clip from the other day, and somebody in my chat gonna talk about, well, when the men gonna talk about what the leader with the plan? Like, bitch, we ain't talking about that right now.
God damn it.
Why is we talking about everything? I can't stand that. What about the Mendo?
What about the Mendo? Shout out the Beans. What about the Mendo?
Men are the problem. The world owes me. And woe is me. This is just how I am because of my trauma. Oh my goodness. We're about to get into it. I'm living in my truth. I deserve a pass because I've been through some things. I was young and dumb, brother. I was young and dumb.
Lord Jesus.
But here's the truth. Healing begins where accountability begins. You can't be in order if you're constantly outsourcing your growth to your pain. So you're not going to be healed. Y'all talking about y'all healing, doing shadow work and spiritual spells and yoni steams and yoni baths and screaming and hollering when somebody pressing on your cooch because you're trying to heal. But until you take accountability,
ain't none of that pressing on what? Pressing? Wait a minute. Healing is not for the weak.
Okay, shout out to sis. But it begins with accountability, brother. You can do all the yoni steams and all you want to, but until you take accountability, it ain't gonna work. Okay.
Sis say yoni steams is crazy.
Well, that's what they be doing. I guess they trying to heal their cooch. I don't know. That's what they try to do.
Wounded cooch is crazy.
They try look. It's wounded coochies. Yes, they kind of hit a cooch. So victimhood becomes a shield against correction. Let's say that again. Victimhood becomes a shield against correction. Victimhood makes correction feels like an attack. Why are you attacking me? Why are you talking about me? Y'all being self-righteous. You being pick me. They go that made me talk. You can't talk about me. I'm just living into my truth. But correction doesn't feel good. Not supposed to. When they're in that victimhood thing, it's you're attacking me. You're attacking. Like what was that girl said on the on Fatty Show the other day? She was like, she left the panel because she felt like her womanhood was being attacked. I said, Lord,
that's a fact. That's a fact. Lord Jesus, y'all gotta stop doing that, fellas. Damn.
She said she thought her womanhood was being attacked.
Under attack.
So in turn, she rejects wise counsel, i.e. the OGs. You can't tell them nothing because she feeling attacked. Okay. She sees every rebuke or correction as oppression. You're not trying to let me breathe. You're not trying to let me grow. This is who I am. I want to fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Don't make me over.
Okay. Come as you are. The Bible says, "Come as you are." That's a lie. Okay. There ain't no such scripture say that.
Get them, sis.
Okay. I'm gonna say that till the cows come home. Till they stop saying that shit. She twists loving leadership into control. We hear this all the time, brother. The control. He's trying to control me. He's trying to control me. He's trying to control me. Oh my God, shut up. I'm going to do a show on a subject because women always say, I want a protector and provider, right? But they only looking at protecting and providing in one instance. There are many layers to protect and provide. So if this man is leading you, he's loving you, it's not him controlling you, he's protecting and providing, but that's a whole nother show. She runs from conviction and calls it self-care. That's when she goes sit on the yoni steamy thing. Yeah.
God damn it, yoni. Shit. God damn.
That's where she gonna sit on that pot thing. You don't need steamy thingy. I mean, you know. But again, the virtuous woman, the Proverb 31 woman, the tradition woman is teachable. A woman in divine order accepts rebuke with humility and not pride. So all you churchgoers, the scripture says in Proverbs 12:1, whosoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but he who hates correction is stupid. I ain't say it. The Bible said it. Y'all take it up.
Preach.
I didn't say it. The Bible said it. Look it up. Proverbs 12:1. Whosoever loves discipline accepts discipline with humility, loves knowledge. And when you love knowledge, you become wise, right? Mm-hmm. And in Proverbs 31 says that the virtuous woman is wise. So that means you need to accept discipline in order to be the Proverbs 31 woman. Don't let me stop preaching. But he who hates correction is stupid. Shout out to Beans. Y'all stupid.
Lord Jesus.
Did Beans call him stupid? You stupid. He who hates correction.
Let's go.
When you can't take correction, when you can't take wise counsel, when you can't take rebuke, you can't take advice from the OGs or whatever y'all want. Y'all old people don't know nothing. The Bible that you love, the God that you serve, the church that you go to say you stupid. I ain't saying this. The next one is victimhood breeds bitterness and not breakthrough. Many women have truly been hurt, we know, by fathers, lovers, friends, system, whatever, mamas, all that. But here's the thing. They stay stuck in those stories and keep them going. And so when you keep these stories going, you keep trauma bonding, you're not releasing it, you're actually, you know what I find, brother? I find like sometimes people have gotten to a place that the victim mentality or whatever that they've gone through, they embraced it so that it has become an attention getter for them. So they're getting validation through their trauma. Does that make sense?
It does. Do you think that they adopt it as a part of their identity and they kind of validate themselves through that as, you know, either strong or sexual or whatever? But
yes.
Okay. Yep. I would agree.
So they keep those stories going, and so then they become hardened, they become defensive, they become suspicious of good men. You know, that's why, you know, they keep making bad mistakes with the same type of man over and over again. They become emotionally unavailable, but they always want an emotionally intelligent man. They get stuck in cycles of toxic choices. So bitterness becomes the lens through which they see the world. And bitterness never builds, it burns. And it kills. It destroys. And therefore you become the angry Black woman. You become the bitter baby mama. You become the bitter ex-wife, the bitter ex-girlfriend. So Hebrews 12:15 says, see to it that no bitter root grows up to cause trouble and defile many. I had to give y'all little scriptures. So you can't live in your bitterness or your hurt or your trauma. You can't live in it. Shout out to sis. She's doing a series on, you know, how y'all should let it go. It's gonna be hard, but you're gonna have to let it go. Okay. We can't live in the victimhood breeds bitterness. The next one is victimhood kills femininity and corporation. Victimhood says, I've been hurt, so I must protect myself at all costs. So she leads with dominance, not cooperation, meaning I am the table, You can't tell me nothing. I want a partnership, not a marriage. You can't lead me. We're going to lead together. We're going to be king and king up in here. They reject healthy male leadership, choosing control over companionship, using manipulation instead of trust. But we weren't designed that way. We were designed to flow and not force. Victimhood blocks the flow and replaces femininity with fear and masculinity. The next one is it enables toxic behavior without consequences. Brother. Victimhood enables toxic behavior without consequences. Victimhood says, I ghost him because I've been hurt before. I'm loud and aggressive because I had to defend myself growing up, so this is the way I am. I'm emotionally unavailable because my dad left me. Instead of healing, the woman weaponizes her wounds and call it her personality. There goes what we just talked about. It becomes her identity. So being broken is understandable, but staying broken is a choice. So victimhood has created a culture of out of order women who are loud but lost, strong but scarred, praised online but powerless inside. Got anything on victimhood, brother?
No, that was spot on. Spot on.
All right, guys. I had a slide here when it talks about how the welfare system and government, but I was flowing, so I didn't even get to it. But there goes another aspect of why our women are out of order. I mean, you can pause and read it for those who've seen it. Of course, it replaces the man in the home. It created a safety net without standards, and I thought that was a good point about the welfare system and the government programs. Because we talk about this all the time. This is why a lot of women keep having babies after baby after baby, because they know they have that safety net to order to survive and take care of the children. That's why they keep doing it over and over again. It penalizes marriage, rewarding dependency. When we begin to view men as an obstacle and not partners, it gave women power without partnership. It enables generational dependency. You saw grandma on it, mama on it, daughter on it, and now granddaughter on it. Okay. It shifts authority from the home to the system. And the fallout for this is the out of order household, children with no structure, women leading without a covering, men retreating in silence, and communities with no accountability and correction. Brother, what do you think about the men retreating in silence?
I mean, just like you said about everything else, it's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that we pose a question, responsibility or choice as a parent, and it's your responsibility, and that's why you get the first choice. That's my my take on it. And I
Mm-hmm.
think some people relinquish that choice. They're not good morally and as a human, and they relinquish that choice, and
Yeah.
it's unfortunate at times, but it's something that happens. And this just is systematic, and this is what we've been talking about all of this time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
for anyone to not see that there's systems in place
Mm-hmm.
to disenfranchise our homes, to gentrify our communities, it's insensitive, because although we can rise above these things are still in place. And that's where I stand. I do pride myself on being different and rising above the madness that is my community, but at the same time I do know that it exists. So
Mm-hmm.
I commend you for doing the work you do, for the missus doing the work. This is what's needed: the village mindset, the bringing back accountability, even though people don't like the word. But these things, although they sound cliche, they're very necessary. So,
Yeah.
the people that want it are gonna get it. The people that don't, it's all good, but we
Mhm.
still gonna do the work. So continue to do the work, sis. This was an amazing episode.
So we are getting to the end. So here is the last point of why our women are out of order and unhappy, and it's the lack of accountability. And like you said, they hate that word or whatever, but I don't care. I don't be caring what they care. So the lack of accountability is fueled behind the fire of the out of order woman. Without it, this disorder became the norm, rebellion became self-expression, and healing becomes optional. When a woman is never taught to take responsibility, she drifts further and further from her divine purpose and deeper into pride, pain, and performance. If a woman wants to be in divine order in line with men, not beneath, not above, but in harmony, she must return to God's design and not cultural distortions. So let us look at our last slide. Well, not our last slide, but this is the one we want to talk about. Let's break down accountability. Why not taking accountability is why our women are out of order. So the first one is women not confronted, only comforted. She was praised for her pain instead of healing from it. Okay, so modern culture tells women you're strong for surviving. It is not your fault. You don't know anybody, no explanation. You just living in your truth. But when everyone coddles the wound and no one addresses the root cause, the dysfunction festers. Instead of healing childhood traumas, owning toxic behaviors, addressing emotional immaturity, she gets applauded for being a real woman while staying broken. She's rarely confronted, she's being justified instead. When a woman disrespects a man, manipulates in a relationship, plays the victim to avoid reflection or accountability, raises children in chaos, and we see that all the time. Society says, and we hear this, brother, she just doing her best. She's a single mama. She just doing the best she can. Don't judge her. We listen and we don't judge. You don't know her story. I was young and I was dumb. So she's being told her feelings are true. Now she's living in the culture where emotions overrides wisdom. If you feel it, it's valid. If I'm triggered, I'm right. If I'm hurt, you're toxic. Accountability means checking yourself even when you're upset. But the modern woman, the out of order woman, is told to speak your truth, not to seek the truth. Jeremiah 17:9 says, the heart is deceitful above all things. So if you're going on with your feelings, baby, you just might be going in the wrong direction. Anything you want to say on that, brother?
That was bars. Absolute bars. The one thing that I would chime in on is the example of you don't have to explain anything to anyone. I would agree. I've heard that, said to a lot of women, modern women particularly, and I don't agree. I believe that you don't get an explanation. but I believe our children deserve explanations for
Yeah.
everything. They deserve understanding, clarity, and all of these things. So when they grow up, they have a clear consciousness of the decisions that they make. So, some adults might not agree. A lot of ladies don't. They believe they deserve explanations for every no they get, but maybe
Mhm.
not every yes. So that's what starts the conversation, but not me. I believe children deserve explanations and you not so much.
So here's the other one about accountability. No father equals no consequences, no structure. Many women grew up without discipline, without a male protector to correct and guide, without the fear of disappointing a good man. So their choices never faced righteous accountability. They were spoiled by the single mamas trying to overcompensate for their growing up, excused by weak men avoiding confrontation. We seen, the panda biz, that's what we call them, the panda biz, right? So they don't want to engage in confrontation. They don't want to correct anyone or give guidance because they're afraid of the pushback. Then you have the praise for making it work even when it meets dysfunction. Now correction feels like control and truth feels like an attack. So who's at fault? Fathers who abandoned or were passive. When men walked away, whether it's physically or emotionally, they left their daughters uncovered, unprotected, uncorrected, without masculine discipline. Many women grew up leading themselves before they were mature enough to do so. So, brother, as a dad, what do you say about that?
That's a fact. That's a fact. Although, our current conversation is focused on the why,
Mm-hmm.
dad left and there were circumstances surrounding, but ultimately and overall, dad did leave. And
Mm-hmm.
that did leave his young lady susceptible to a lot of things she wouldn't have been if he was around. And I can, attest and contest to that because I'm a day one dad of daughters. And it's a lot of things that we shield them from. There's predators that say I would not have approached if there was a dad around. There's,
Mm-hmm.
so many instances that we can point out. So,
Yeah.
I do believe we are needed, necessary, and very vital and important. So,
Mm-hmm.
fellas, you are doing the baby girl a disservice by not being around. So, although we are focused on the conversation currently, overall, that is the fact. So, we definitely got to address that. Salute to the day one dads.
So then, mothers who enable instead of discipline. Some mothers raise daughters as besties, not children. They want to be friends. And then you have the women, the mothers that are in competition with their daughters. I just did a stream on the toxic mother daughter relationship. Go back and watch that. So they raise the daughters as besties, not children. They pass on their pain. They justify toxic behavior with she's been through a lot. Mamas, they tend to pacify, right? So those daughters grow up entitled, defensive, emotionally unstable, but never told they were out of order. Then we going back. Look, shout out to what about the window? Then we go to the men who reward dysfunction. It's one of the reasons why women don't take accountability because they're being validated by simp men. Men who reward dysfunction, men who sleep with broken women and never correct them. Chaos curves over character. Gave them attention even in their toxicity. This in turn gives them the notion in their head, I'm okay because John liked my picture, or John gave me head, or John gave me money. So they think they're okay. You have a sector of men that are validating these women. So they don't see themselves as wrong. They don't see any consequences for their action, because the one thing they will say, I can still get a man. I still get a man. No matter what, I still get a man. So every time a man praises disorder, he cements it. Men are not the root, but often they are the enablers. What do you have to say about that, brother?
I mean, they got a little bit to do with it. Just again, for me, it's the conversation we've been having, the 304s and all of that is because of validation through sex. And again, in my opinion, I don't know what other people constitute as a 304, but for me, it's not promiscuity. It's not being an adult and having sex with whoever you want to. That's adult activity. But when you validate yourself, now I'm worthy of X, Y, and Z, or I am worthy because of sex. That's when
Right.
the line gets a little blurred for me. So it's the validation and your identity being placed in sex is where I draw the line. And I agree with everything you said. It's the men who enable. It's the simps, it's the panderers, it's the words that we have for them. That's why we have the words. Like, these things exist. You give them validation. You give them the narrative to paint and plant and jackets to put by having sex with these ladies and not being honest with them and telling them, this is what you're worthy of and you're not worthy of anything more or greater. So, they got a little bit to do with it, like I said in my thesis.
Yeah. So here's another component of accountability. Shout out to the church goers. Yes, the church went soft. Too many pulpit preachers, grace without repentance, healing without confrontation, empowerment without structure. So this leaves women feeling affirmed but never changed. The spirit of truth was exchanged for the spirit of appeasement. And I said this on the live when I had the discussion with wife school. Like, church has changed. There is no conviction there. There is no causing people to think about their behaviors and causing a change. It's all about appeasement. It's all about, you're going to get a new house, you're going to get a new car. You know what I'm saying? So in turn, the church has failed the women as well, right? It's all about the spirit of appeasement. The women, and the next one is the women ourselves are the problem. At the end of the day, she's responsible for her own choices. No matter of the past, every woman must choose growth over guilt, wisdom over pride, submission to God over submission to self. Blame is easy. Accountability is right. Accountability is the doorway back to order. Until women learn to examine her own reflection, she'll keep blaming the mirror and not what she sees in it. So the last component of why our women are out of order is the lack of accountability, the breakdown of accountability. Any words on that, brother?
That was dope. No, that was pretty good.
All right. So after I finish fussing, I always gotta give you a reason, something to help you change your behaviors. If you find yourself in any of these slides where you think that you are kind of out of order, here are some tips on how to get back to the divine order. Okay? I gotta give it to y'all. Okay? So here's number one: embrace femininity and not feminism. I wish please y'all denounce that craziness. Okay? Because it's foolery. If you don't see where feminism has gotten our community as a whole by now, you definitely got on dark shades in the nighttime. Heal before you lead, follow, and love. Shout out to sis doing that series. Heal before you lead, follow, and love. You need to heal before you have children, because the women are the first teachers and leaders of the children. Learn how to honor righteous leadership. I ain't talking about Pookie on the corner. I'm talking about good men, righteous men. Surround yourself with truth tellers and not yes men. You don't want to surround yourself with panderers and simps, or girlfriends that will tell you, yeah, girl, you look good, and you know you look like Oompa Loompa, okay? Surround yourself with truth tellers and not yes men. Stop calling correction hate and start calling it love. Trade blame for responsibility. Trade pain for purpose. Trade excuses for execution. Trade survival mode for kingdom order. Stop idolizing independence. I'm an independent Black woman, hear me roar, okay? Cultivate peace and not drama. Start building legacy and not just lifestyle. Rebuilding the family is not just about finances. Discern and wait for a man in order, and encourage marriage and masculine leadership. Those are my tips on how to get back into order. Well, this was fun. This was nice, short, and sweet. Okay. I just need to get this out. I saw that little interaction on Teens Fatties, and Ali asked that question of why women are out of order. I mean, you know, it's self-explanatory in most cases. But what you have on the show so far, brother? Any last words? Any overall consensus on what we talked about tonight?
Dope info as usual, sis.
Mm-hmm. So that is it for us tonight, and I thank you guys for tuning in. We're gonna go through the super chats and all that other good stuff. And I thank everybody thank you, Dee, everybody for tuning in. I truly appreciate it. Hey Dee, the real podcast. Oh, it's okay, I know who it is. I was like, wait a minute, who's that? Okay, I know who it is now. Thank you guys for tuning in. So let me go through the super chat things and see what's going on. Shout out to brother for gifting one membership. Shout out. And shout out to Dr. Steele for the $5. Keep in mind, the internet in general puts information, good or bad, in everybody's reach. And shout out to Beans for the $2, and he is dropping all of the little podcast stars. Thank you for coming through. And I got shout out to CBZ for the $5 Cashapp. Thank you. Why my mouse is not working? I need to put a battery in my mouse, y'all.
Damn,
I need to put a battery in my mouth.
I
need to put a battery in my mouth.
That's
shout out to everybody.
Lord Jesus. Man, I'm rolling off them things. I'm loaded off them things. I'm floating off them things. I'm rolling off them things. I'm rolling off them things. I'm loaded off them things. I'm floating off them things. I'm loaded off my brain. Man, I'm rolling off them things. Off them things. I'm loaded off them things. I'm floating off them things. Man, I'm rolling off them things. I'm loaded off them things. I'm floating off them things. I'm rolling off them things. I'm rolling off.
You know what that clip reminds me of? It looked like they at that gas station on North Avenue in Bel Air Road. You know that gas station at the corner, like before you get to the
that's wild.
To the like up there by the graveyard. It looked they at that gas station. Shout out to Baltimore.
Lord Jesus.
Well, I thank everybody for tuning in for Red Dropping Gems. Thank you, Kellie, for coming up, brother, for coming up and chopping it up with me for a little bit. I hope that this conversation helps someone, and just know that, even though our women are out of order, there are a remnant of us that are not. Okay, and we are trying our best to give information and talk to the women, and hopefully, a lot of times I know, like, sometimes we can get discouraged when you think that people are not listening, but I always say it's always, as long as that one, if I can get through that one, I'm satisfied. So if this conversation helped just one person, I'm satisfied with it. Okay, that makes me happy. So I'm glad that everybody that tuned in. If you're catching the replay, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the super chats and the cash apps and the super thanks and the what you call it, the cash apps, all that kind of stuff, good stuff. Okay, because we on the paper towel fun around here. Any last words, brother? Are you going live tomorrow?
Yeah, it's up. It's up tomorrow. Tribe activity for the rest of the week. Hope everybody is having a good week. Thank y'all for tuning in. And sis, this is always inspirational, man. So you always spark a conversation over here. So keep doing what you do, and we see you guys on the other side.
You coming on tomorrow, brother?
Yep, we loaded up for tomorrow. I'm working on something.
Okay. So tomorrow, guys, make sure you guys tune in to Promote Conscious Parenting. Let me drop the if you are not subscribed, make sure you guys go and subscribe to Promote Conscious Parenting.
Damn, it's crazy.
Huh? What?
No,
what happened,
that's
bro?
crazy. You said if they not subscribed. I said that's crazy. You're missing
out.
I mean, come on over.
Yeah. So make sure you. I dropped the link in the chat. Make sure you guys subscribe to Mrs. She Said and Promote Conscious Parenting. They are going live tomorrow.
Word.
For some good old fashioned Promote Conscious Parenting, a little bit of business, because everything else is he said, she said. Okay. Having said that, y'all have a good night. I know that the Untouchables are doing fatties over there on Raging Tomato, doing a debate. So the redirect is there. So if you sit right here, it's going to take you back there. But in the meantime, bye.
As soon as the show over, he do like this. Well, I'm ready to go. Hold up. Why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, then hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets, cause we know where we at, we know we top tier. Cause all the hate that you bring, we know it stops here. I'm taking off like a rocketeer and stopping here. It's strange how they cannot see the future but see profit here. Wait up, we gon' always win. Promise that that's not a promise, yeah, that is a threat. You know that I promise to bring the team commas. When the whole team win, that's when you flex. Win, and I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again. Tell 'em I can't take no loss. My team hold no L's, no. Aiming for the top, can't make it by myself. I ain't taking no loss. I ain't taking no loss. Look, I'ma always win. I ain't taking no loss. Look, I'ma always win. We already know that we the coldest. Watch me heat it up, let me focus. I'm going toe to toe with foes. I know they notice. I kick in dough, they only hope for closing. Why? Cause they know I go again. And when they get it right, I'm the one that can make it flow again. Talk to me nice, my team they ready to go again. Running into us, we'll gladly send you home again. We don't talk, better know the grind gon' match my walk. I'm a cheat code, I don't take no loss. Making no sense, run up the scope. Cause all I do is win, and I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again. Tell 'em I can't take no loss. My team hold no L's, no. Aiming for the top, can't make it by myself. I ain't taking no loss. I ain't taking no loss. Look, I'ma always win. I ain't